So the more you can get somebody to know you, like you, and trust you, the sooner you're gonna get rich in real estate. In general, in business, like you have to do things that most people are not doing. That's exactly what it is, dude. You that's why you don't buy who are younger than me that are doing better than I am. And that's good. Like, I'm happy to see that. Sometimes
meet Matt Myles, good friend, realtor, and real estate influencer based in Hoboken, New Jersey. From walking dogs to door knocking, in this episode, we cover everything he's done to close over 70 real estate deals in his career and counting. Whether you're an entrepreneur in your building phase, or maybe you're looking for some tips and tricks you need to use if you're in the market for a new home, this episode is for you.
Welcome to episode 74 of the New Money Talks podcast.
That's fantastic.
Yeah.
This is
Cool.
This is the
Glad that
first
sounds good.
official 1 year anniversary with a guest.
Is it really?
Because
I didn't know that.
Yeah,
Shoot.
because we had Ron Shaw back on, but he was like, it was like 1 week early of the 1 year anniversary. So
shoot.
first official 1 year anniversary, which is pretty fire. A lot changed in a year, so we'll get into what has happened. You know, what things like that might be different. What, you know, goals might have changed, what events you might have gone to. I know you're a big Tony Robbins guy. It was just his birthday too on the 29th.
Oh, nice.
Which is like
29th.
leap day.
Leap day.
Oh,
Yeah.
really?
It's a leap day, yeah. So
I didn't know that.
So he would have been like 15 right now. I think
Yeah.
he's like 64, so technically he's
Nice.
only like 15.
Yeah, my cousin just turned 10, 40.
Yeah.
She turned 40,
Jeez.
but yeah, she's literally 10 because she was born on February 29th.
So does she celebrate on the 28th or the 30th?
Well, every year. What do you mean?
There's no 30th.
There's no
28th or the
30th.
first.
28th or the 1st?
So the first. Every
The
year she
first?
celebrates on the 28th.
28th.
But then, obviously, this year you get to celebrate on the 29th.
For everyone who doesn't know, we got Matt Myles in the house.
Matthew
My name is
Myles.
Matt. Yeah.
Yeah.
Matt Myles, New Jersey real estate agent.
Real estate
What's the IG? Let's plug the
aficionado.
IG from the start.
The Hoboken
Hoboken
Realtor.
Hoboken
Jigs.
Realtor.
Yeah. It's
On
good
what
stuff.
channels?
TikTok, Instagram, YouTube.
He
but
does
just
dances
don't-
on TikTok. You know? Yeah.
Just like, buy this house.
Yeah.
Man, where do we begin? So,
Where do we start?
Last time we spoke, we talked about, you know, some of like the real estate basics and stuff. And I know John's going to pick your brain about real estate because he's big in that world. I'll probably get in that world eventually, not at the moment. But what's changed the most since the last time we spoke?
I think my network is probably the thing that's changed the most. I've been building my database like crazy. Like, that's the main thing that I'm focused on right now, because any long-term agent will tell you, anyone who's been in the business for over 8 to 10 years, that's like medium to long term, they'll tell you that 60+% of their business is coming from their database, whether that's a direct friend or family member who they know buying or selling something. And they're getting paid on that deal, or whether it's like a referral from somebody they know. They're both considered database deals.
So it's all like network deals pretty much.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So the more you can get somebody to know you, like you, and trust you, the sooner you're going to get rich in real estate, honestly. So that's why, like, I'm playing the long game. It's not like I'm flowing in 50 deals a year yet,
Yeah.
but I have the network to build that up over time.
How many deals did you do in 2023? I'm curious.
It was 21 last year.
Ooh.
Damn.
Yeah. So that was pretty solid.
It's like one every other week pretty much.
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, the goal this year is 25. And I'm excited about that, honestly.
That's sick.
It's so funny because like everyone in the e-commerce world is like, oh, how do I make 100K in 90 days? How do I get $1 million brand here? And you're talking in like, you know, yearly time horizons. You're like the guys who are 8 years in, like, you know, want that trajectory. And like that, the probability of winning when you look on longer time horizons is so much higher than we're like, oh, you know, my goal is to close 5 deals, you know, next month. And that'll be my record month by 2 deals.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
Just a little rant.
I'm curious. Out of the 21 deals, what did the like what's the mix of deals that you were doing?
It was, so that wasn't all sales. So like not 15, like 12 or 13 of those were rentals. Yeah, it was 9 sales. So whatever that comes out to. 12 of them were rentals, 9 of them were sales.
Mm-hmm.
Sales meaning like someone bought or sold like a house or a
Yeah,
apartment or
meaning like
something?
650, $1 million, 0.2, like that. Rental
Yeah.
as in somebody renting like 4,000 a month. Like here.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that was fun. And yeah, hoping to do 25 this year. Like I have 1 closed already and then 4 under contract. So I closed that one on last Friday, put another one under contract on Monday and another one under contract today. Hopefully, like they needs to get out of some processing.
No.
But like that's 3
Out of attorney reviews and all that stuff, right?
yeah, out of attorney review. So like that's 3, like this week pretty much just like turned everything up. Because then another one was under contract last week. So it's like the last 2 weeks have been 4
I'm
out
curious,
of.
how many deals can you like float at a time? Like,
Yeah.
do you think you can actually do it at one time?
Yeah. So I talked to my coach about this, and
Well, you have a coach too.
Yeah.
What kind of coach is this?
I'll get into that in
Yeah,
a second. So, sorry, my ADD just needs to answer your question.
No, you're good.
It's a real estate sales coach.
That's pretty sick.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I'll tell you more about that in a second. What was your question before that?
Fuck. What was my question? It was a
How
good
many?
question.
Oh, how many
How
can
many
I?
deals can you juggle at
deal
once?
flow.
Yeah, how many
one
can I
side.
have pending at one time? I can probably have 6 to 8. 6 to 8. So my coach wants to get me to having 6 at a time. I've never had 6 pending. 4 right now is the most that I've ever had. And last year, like when we talked, I only had 2 pending at a time before. So there's really not that much that goes into it, believe it or not. Like once the deal's under contract, you're pretty much, if you're on the buyer side, you're scheduling a home inspection, an appraisal, and maybe 1 or 2 more walkthroughs. And if you're on the listing side, you're pretty much handling the town certificate of occupancy. And you are, also on the buyer side, you're making sure the mortgage is going through. You're just talking to the lender, making sure, like, you don't do anything. You just
Kind of just
sort of,
push.
yeah, sort of be like, hey, what's going on? Where's the
Yeah.
commitment? Where's the approval? So it's not hard. The hard part about being a real estate agent is acquiring new clients and lead generation. So that's why, like from 8 to 12 in the morning, if you're a strong agent, you have to be prospecting and you have to be lead generating. Like think about if you guys didn't ask people for referrals for this, it's like it would
You have
sink.
nobody. Yeah.
Yeah,
for
it would literally stop. Like it would stop. So, so coaching, it's called the Mike Ferry organization, and they're actually the inventors of the real estate coaching industry.
Okay.
So this year or
Jeez.
next year is their 50th anniversary.
How do you like coin that?
Yeah, isn't that interesting? Think about it. Real estate agents really weren't in the game until like I think the 60s is when it started. And then in 1975, Mike Ferry started just real estate sales coaching. He was getting paid to talk at this one company, just him to like 10 or 15 agents. And then he said to people, he was like, if you want to coach with me, we can do it for $1,000 a month. Leave your card here. And then I'll pick them up later on. He had 15 cars there at the end of the day.
Wow.
So it started like that. People saw the value right away. And now he's got about 15,000 clients right now.
Jeez.
His son has a huge company and they're kind of like direct rivals with each other.
Is this out of New Jersey or like national?
No, it started in California.
Okay.
Some I forget where. But yeah, Mike Ferry organization. So I pay $1,000 a month for a real estate coach. We have one call for 30 minutes every week. So it turns out to be about 42 calls a year.
And then what the hell do you guys talk about?
Yeah, isn't that
Yeah,
crazy?
I'm-
Right?
I'm
You're
just-
like,
what do
what
you
the
just talk
fuck?
about
What
for
are the
30
questions?
minutes? Yeah.
So we talk about the current deals that I have pending. We talk about the current leads that I have. And he actually starts the call like this. Here, answer the phone. Ring, ring.
Ring, ring. Hello.
You're me. I'm my coach.
Okay.
Ring, ring.
Hey, how's it going?
Hey, Matt, how the heck are you doing?
I'm doing fine. Yeah.
Tell me the best thing that happened to you in the last 3 days. That's how we start every call.
Jeez. So he's cracked out, this guy.
Dude, he's on fire.
Yeah.
This guy, he started when he was 22 years old. He adopted a son like a few years after that. And that's been his biggest motivation. So he's been in the business for, I think, 30 or 35 years now, located out of Chicago. And I pretty much just like tell him about all my struggles in the business. I tell him about the things I got going on and ask for his advice about even things literally down to like, how would you handle this objection? Someone keeps telling me, oh, I need to wait, or, oh, I'm going to think about it, or, oh, I have a friend in the business, right?
Yeah.
Like there's a lot of things that you think you can figure out, but someone who's done it for 30 years is going to have a much better answer than you will.
So it's pretty much like a mentor, big brother type of thing where you
Yeah.
any questions you have, he'll answer them for you pretty much.
And this is like,
Yeah.
this is him. This isn't like a coach underneath him or something.
So no, so his name is Mike, and Mike Ferry is the leader of the company.
Got
so
it.
My
he-
bad.
He's the
Okay,
coach
okay.
underneath pretty much. Yeah.
Yes, so
I was gonna
Mike
say, how the hell
Ferry.
does he manage 15,000 people himself?
That'd be crazy. No, so Mike Ferry is the owner of the organization. When we have, so he has about, I don't know, 14 to 16 like USA events that are public. All the other stuff is private, contracted through companies or in like Italy or Australia. So I have about 14 opportunities every year to go to an event that Mike Ferry is leading. And when I go to those events, he's the one who's on stage talking to everybody, going through the systems that he's used for the last 50 years. He's one of the most consistent people I've ever met. So Mike Ferry has about, I think, 70 to 75 coaches underneath him right now. And my coach, Mike, is one of those coaches.
Cool.
And they each handle about like 70 to 100 people each.
Gotcha.
Right now.
Yeah.
Would you say it's more like accountability as opposed to education?
The accountability comes through other partners in the industry, in the Mike Ferry organization. So I will talk to my coach, Mike, and I'll be like, hey, who do you think is like a good agent or a good 2 or 3 agents who are similar to me, have similar goals this year, who I can talk to every morning or every afternoon? So that's like where the accountability comes
and
in.
he finds them in New Jersey for you type of thing, or like all over the country?
just in
No,
general?
it doesn't matter. I have a
Doesn't
guy in
matter, right?
Vancouver, Canada. That's like Pacific time, like way
So it's pretty much just like, yo, keep prospecting, like this type of thing.
for the most part.
Are you guys like competing with each other or just more like checking in?
No, not at all. So we're checking in, and like I'll show you. You can take a look at it.
Yeah.
So like there's one group chat. There's one group chat I have here. It's called the $1 Million Club. I don't even know what they named it. $1 Million Club Make and Think MFO. I don't even know what that means. That doesn't make any sense. But so pretty much like they're sending every day and like messages like this. How's the day going for you? It's beautiful here. Great day for door knocking in Toronto. Today I made 50 contacts, 2 solid leads, 1 solid appointment. Make it a great one. Let's go. We got this. Like shit like that. Right?
Yeah.
We're pumping each other up with like keeping each other on track.
I feel like more people need that, you know, especially like in the real estate world, you get a lot of physical action. You get to talk to people in person.
Yeah.
So I feel like the digital is like good enough, but then a lot of people in our world are like all digital oriented, and they get no fucking physical human interaction, which like, they need that. So yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I'm curious too. What made you want to do this? Like, how'd you think to sign up for this program too?
So remember when I talked about like walking dogs last year?
Yeah.
So,
Is he the
should I try
dog?
to get?
Is the guy the guy you walked the dog for?
He introduced me
Oh,
to
shoot.
this. Should I try to get another soundbite?
Yeah, if you want, go crazy.
All right, ready? So yeah, I started in real estate by walking dogs, actually. And the guy who introduced me to real estate in general told me about the Mike Ferry organization. And I just adopted blind faith. And I was like, all right, whatever this guy says, I'm going with it. So he told me to join this company and to sign up for this coaching. Meanwhile, I had like probably $6,000 or $7,000 to my name, and it was $1,000 a month. And he was like, you should pay for it for the whole year. And I'm like, well, I wish I could, but so anyways, I signed up for it for a 12-month commitment and just went for it. Honestly, that's it.
Damn.
Pretty simple, basic answer. I didn't want to think about it. I didn't want to question it. I was just like, he makes $2 million a year and I make $15 an hour.
No, I don't know. I've kind of noticed that too. Like not necessarily just in education, but like whenever I'm just sitting on like an uncomfortably extra amount of cash, which like, I don't know what that is for some people, but like, for me, if I have more than I need, then I kind of want to like get rid of it in some way, but like positively. So I'm either investing that or I'm like, maybe like I just recently bought a brand, which I'm like super stoked about. I'm trying to scale that up pretty soon. But it's like a different world, but just like getting rid of it and allocating capital in places you can't use it and like spending on dumb shit. It's better to invest in education, buying assets, like putting into real estate, investing in any of that. Yeah.
Totally.
I'm curious, on your last call, what were you guys talking about? With your coach?
So our calls are Monday at 12 p.m. So he does his calls. Side note, most of these guys are still active in the real estate business, like actually actively selling. You have to have sold at least 75 homes a year for 3 years straight to be a Mike Ferry coach. So
damn, that's like more. That's like two. That's like 2 a week.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And that equates to like probably the minimum any of these coaches are making, even in like Baton Rouge, Louisiana, like anywhere that is like really super low price point. Like the minimum any of these guys are making is probably $350 a year, and some of them are making upwards of $3 to $4 million a year. They have some clients, like there's this lady out of Miami, and she like sells for Dwayne Wade, Shaq, like all these athletes and huge CEOs that move down there. She sells for those guys. So her average sales point is like $10.5 million last year. She sells like 15 houses a year, but she makes
what's
like
the commission on like a $10 million house? Like
6% still.
Is it?
Yeah.
Oh wow.
Yeah. I mean, it's all negotiable, right?
Yeah, it's negotiable.
You sit down with the seller and you decide. It depends how strong your skills are. But a lot of them go for 6%. So
damn, 6% on 10 million is like 600 grand.
Yeah. Yeah.
Boom.
It
That's
is.
nuts.
Yeah, it's a lot of money. It's definitely a lot of money. So, do you guys pay for coaching or
I don't.
education?
He coaches.
I-
yeah.
I do coach.
Hey, you.
I do coach, so I invest my. What's going on, New Money Talks fam? Just want to give a huge shout out to our sponsors over at MediaGlobe.io. MediaGlobe is an agency account provider for Facebook and TikTok agency accounts. They even provide Google agency accounts. So if you are a Facebook, TikTok, or Google marketer, you have probably experienced one of many issues like profile bans, ad account bans, ad rejections, ID verification disapprovals, spend limits, and the list goes on and on. And if you want the solution to all of those problems in one place, you have to check out MediaGlobe. With their agency accounts, you get unlimited spend access. You not only get access to unlimited spend accounts, you get exclusive support from the major advertising channels. You can receive whitelisted assets, meaning that they are almost bulletproof from getting disapproved, banned, rejected, or any of that fun stuff. And you get one-on-one support with their team of multi-8 and 9-figure advertisers. So again, whatever problem that you're facing with your paid media, whether it's for your e-commerce business, your lead generation business, your service-based business, if you're advertising on social media, you need to check these guys out today at MediaGlobe.io or visit the link in the description of this video and check them out there. Now let's get back into the podcast. Time in that kind of world, but
Exactly.
as far as like paying for education, like I'm in one community right now. It's a school community. I'm going to shout this guy out because he's a beast.
Yeah.
His name is Ravi Abuvala. You ever heard of him?
Yeah, I've heard of him. Yeah, you
He's
told me
like
about him.
very good with systems, with sales. A lot of it'll probably translate over the real estate world, but
Mhm.
I admire what he does with like just SOPs, systems, sales processes, stuff like that. He's a young guy. I think he's like 28, 29, but like he had, a nice funnel where it was like, get my $15 thing, then pay $100 a month for this. But
Yep.
it's been, that's been incredibly valuable. So you wonder like, well, what's the 10 grand thing? Cause I've invested in larger programs in the past, and like, it kind of depends on what you're making. Like
Yeah.
the value of the offer is equivalent to the value of the prospect. Like if you're going to sell a home to someone that's like super rich, doesn't have a lot of time, you're saving them time, and it's like, a decent house. It's different than if you're selling someone that doesn't have a lot of money. And so like, but anyways, short answer is yes. But I think a lot of people don't have education problems. I think they have accountability problems and just like execution problems. So I think more people would get value just executing relentlessly, even if it's like a little bit blindly and learning from that, than just like buying something, watching it, and then doing jack shit with it, which is what most people do.
Yeah. The last thing you want to do is get into like an analysis paralysis where you're just
too much stuff.
thinking
Yeah,
about
yeah.
the best thing to do. And in reality, you're just at home on your couch. Right?
Yeah,
Like who
literally.
cares what you're thinking about if you're not actually out there doing anything?
Yeah.
I would so much rather be doing something for 6 hours a day for 3 weeks that I figure out doesn't work at the end of January, and then roll into February with a new idea and new education.
I'm curious too. Like you said, from you said 8 to 12, you prospect.
Yeah.
What do you do? Like what does prospecting consist of?
It's all calls
You have like
for
a
the most
list
part.
of people you're calling.
Yeah, so I like to door knock too because it's different. Like,
Damn.
think about the easy way. The easy way is to buy a dialer, buy a system that everyone else is paying for, like Arch Agent or like Mojo Dialer, Vulcan 7. Like these are all systems people use, and they pay for like for sale by owner data, expired listing data, for rent by owners, and just like circle dialing. So like I could highlight like a condo building and it would give me all the numbers. So that's like the phone prospecting aspect of it, but I like to be a little bit different because I think in general in business, like you have to do things that most people are not doing and take risks that are not going to hurt you, but are like scary to do. So for real estate, one of those things is going out and door knocking. So I'll door knock in the afternoon, but the main stuff
You say
is
door knocking like it's very simple.
Yeah.
If you're driving to a random town and you just start door knocking. You want to sell your house.
Are you trying to like go on?
Yeah, we're gonna do this.
Are you trying to go online and like find the specific properties that are for sale and intentionally knock on those, or you're just spraying praying?
not for sale because when it's for sale, it's too late.
There's already an agent, right?
I'm going for listings. So
Wow.
if it's already up there, then I'm missing. So I'm literally like,
tell me a town you've been to that you've done this. I'm curious.
Jersey City Heights, Palisades Park, Bloomfield, Belleville, Kearney, Glen Ridge.
You just drive to a town.
Yeah. New
park, and you start
Providence.
walking around.
Yeah.
Okay.
Knock, knock.
Yeah, what do you
We're
say?
we're queuing. Ready? We're queuing the role play.
Yeah.
Knock, knock.
Yeah. What do you want?
Hey, my name's Matt Myles. I'm a real estate agent with Liberty Realty. Just want to let you know, we actually just sold a property over at 65 Webster Lane over there. Have you seen that house before?
Yeah.
No, I'm blind.
Oh shit! Have a great day. Here's my card, psych.
But
So
that's
it's
how you
telling
just have a
them.
conversation with them and stuff like that.
Yeah, and I ask questions about like, do you invest in real estate? What's your experience with real estate? How long have you lived at this address? When do you plan on moving? Things like that, right? If you were to move, where would you go next? Things like
Interesting.
that. Yeah.
Has that worked?
Yeah.
Damn.
Yeah. Last year, my biggest check came from it, actually.
For knocking on a random
Yeah.
door.
Yeah. It was $33,000 off of a double
Jeez.
end,
What's a
It
double
was-
end? Oh, you're
yeah,
on both sides.
buyer and seller. So there's like, remember how I mentioned earlier, like off camera, that it's like this split two ways?
Yeah, split. Yeah.
So let's say like you'll charge 5% for ease of numbers. You'll, as the listing agent, you'll keep 2.5% for representing the seller, and you'll give out 2.5%
Yeah.
to the buyer's agent. If you represent the buyer as well, you just sign one additional form. Doesn't change the transaction at all. But you get the full 5%. So that's double ending. And this was like,
You know what I did once? Realtors hate this shit. I just bought another house in December.
yeah, I hate that. You didn't call me.
Honestly, well, now that I think about it,
Tell me about it.
well, no, now that I think about it, I can just call you and because I've never had a buyer's agent. I've just like
Okay.
the agents just made double commission,
Yeah.
but I use it to my advantage on this one.
Yeah.
So because I want to lower the price an extra like 10 grand. So I call her and I'm like, hey, I need down 10 grand. She goes, let me talk to the seller. So she talks to the seller. She's like, they can't do it. I was like, okay, no problem. Well, you get double commission. So you want to take it off your commission?
You said that?
Yeah. And she was like, oh, I don't know. I was like, look, like we can do the deal right now. You'll get like, it was like 6%. I was like, you'll get like 4 or whatever. And then she was
Not
like,
a bad payday still.
yeah. And then she did it.
Damn. Where was it? What town?
It was in North Bergen.
Damn. 2 family?
4.
Oh shit.
Yeah,
So you
yeah.
probably spent like 800 or so.
Yeah, I spent a little under that, but yeah.
Damn.
around
That's
there.
cool.
Yeah. So like, I thought of that. I was like, how do I save 10 bands? And I was like, well, let me just make a phone call.
It's a good idea. I mean,
Well, sorry, I didn't think about you, but honestly, you can get a free deal if I just be like, yo,
Yeah.
you be my agent on this
so
one.
that's how it happens.
Sorry about that. No, honestly, like, because to me, it makes no difference who the hell makes the commission.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
And also, all you care about is what you're paying at the end of the day.
That's really it.
So, like,
yeah.
for example, my last 2 buyers. So, all right, I'll tell like this one story. So I had this buyer in, I'm not going to share the area. I had this buyer in New Jersey, and pretty much we were looking at this property. It was 650, and then I ended up getting them down to 630, and they had already accepted another offer. So like they were in attorney review, and we like pushed it out of attorney review because our offer was stronger than theirs in terms of like the terms and the closing date. So like it's not always just the price that's going to work. Like you can get somebody an accepted offer at a lower price if your terms are
I'll
better.
tell you another way I did it. So I closed in 22 days.
Exactly.
That's how I
Exactly.
did it.
Yeah, that's going to do it.
That's all part of it too. I was like, I
Exactly.
gotta close before the new year.
because
Yeah.
what's aggressive? Like 30 days?
Oh yeah, 30,
30 is
is
pretty
aggressive.
aggressive.
Yeah,
45 is standard, 60 is standard. Some
Yeah,
people just
yeah.
drag it out for no reason, but
Yeah.
yeah, it depends on your motivation. But yeah, I think that like as an agent myself, it's almost like I feel guilty taking the free deals because
Which one's like me calling you being like, yo, you want to just do this real quick?
yeah, sometimes like I feel a little bit guilty taking it. Obviously, I'm going to, and I'll do a good job. But when I first started, I didn't have like the negotiation skills necessary to actually like justify getting paid that much money
For sure.
for a deal. But now the reason I feel confident being like, yeah, hit me up, dude, is because like I can work ways, first of all, through the home inspection
Yeah,
when we
home
get there.
inspection. I lowered the price another 10K on the home
Yeah,
inspection.
exactly. Chop money off.
Yeah,
Yeah.
100%.
It can work to your advantage sometimes because a lot of agents are greedy.
Yeah.
Like the average agent, guess how many deals the average agent did last year in the United States?
5.
I think we did. I think we talked
Yeah,
about
we-
this.
well,
it was
went
some
down.
low number.
It's
It was
three.
some low number. Yeah,
3.
Yeah,
Wow.
yeah.
3 deals.
So how do you live off that? You don't, right?
No, you're
Exactly.
doing something
That's
else.
the
It's part,
trouble.
it's part-time. Yeah.
So
yeah.
think about it. If someone came to you, like you had one listing this year, right? And you're really protecting that. And then a buyer comes to you and you're like, oh my God, now I have like 2 deals. I'm probably going to do 3 or 4 this year. Like, yeah, that means a lot. Like you're not going to drop 20% of your income by leaving the buyer to somebody
Yeah.
else. So they'll do whatever you want them
Yeah.
to do a lot of the time. So it's
Interesting.
unfortunate. Sometimes it can
yeah.
work out because of that. But sometimes like the seller is not always getting the best fiduciary duty from that agent because of that. You see what I mean?
I know what you mean.
Yeah.
No,
it's
and like
tough.
the problem when like the agents on both sides, like technically they should be on both sides, fiduciary responsibility, but like they're not. Usually it's whoever the hell they were first with. You know?
Exactly.
Yeah.
And also, like, if you're double ending, technically your fiduciary duty is like to the seller. So that kind of sucks as a buyer. But then people get shady and they do whatever they have to do.
Yeah.
Right? And I can't speak on it because I don't act like that. I've just heard the stories.
For sure.
But congrats.
Yeah, thank
Awesome.
you.
Is it rented out?
Yeah, it was rented out.
Nice.
I'm in an eviction court, one of the tenants, but it's part of life.
That sucks.
Yeah, whatever. It's not the first time.
Yeah. You have partners?
Yeah, I have a partner. Yeah.
It's important.
Hopefully
Hopefully you guys work well together. I've heard.
Yeah,
some
we do
shitty
we've done like all the businesses together.
Sweet.
So
That's good.
Yeah.
Very good.
Yeah, no, it's the problem. So like I like real estate a lot. I think as I'm buying more and stuff, the problem I'm seeing is like the management piece of it. Meaning like that's the harder part when you
Mhm.
own these things. Not because like sure, like we manage it all ourselves, which is interesting. You can pay someone to manage it, but then you'll obviously make less money by doing that. So you kind of have like that gray area of like what you want to do. And then also in the situation that we're in right now, it's like you can make 5% in a bank account right now.
Mhm.
So why the hell would I
Exactly.
take money out and buy a whole property that I have to deal with like tenants and taxes and
Mhm.
insurances and all this stuff when I can get the same return in a bank, you know? So that's kind of like the weird piece right now about real estate for like multifamily bigger stuff.
Mhm.
But for like a house and like apartments and stuff like that, like there's so many deals going on. Like,
Yeah.
for example, like Bergen County, there's houses for sale every freaking day because
Yeah,
like
man.
people are getting such high prices for them.
That's true.
Yeah.
Yeah. Inventory is down like crazy though. I don't know if you heard about that.
No, I've seen that. Yeah,
it's
for
crazy
sure.
low. Like in Hoboken last year at this time, there's about 140 condos available, which like that was low.
Like for sale or like
for sale,
okay,
yeah.
shoot.
That was low last year at this
Okay.
time. I checked yesterday, there was 50 condos available.
Wow.
140 to
Jeez.
50. Dude, it was already low. Like it was ridiculous. At the peak of COVID, inventory went up to like 350 condos available. So like that was a lot, but we should be sitting somewhere between 180 to 190 like at any given time. And like 100 to 120 sales every
What's the
month.
competition like in Hoboken too?
It's tougher than anywhere else
Probably,
in New Jersey.
right? There's
Yeah.
probably so many realtors.
It's like working in Brooklyn. Like it's not as, I can't compare it to Manhattan because it just
Yeah.
wouldn't be fair to the agents over there and how hard they work. They also have a different system, but yeah, it's like working in Brooklyn. It's crazy.
What are my different systems?
There's a lot less co-broking there, at least in terms of like the rental game. So like the way that we split the commission, that doesn't always happen with New York rentals. But in Jersey, it's extremely common to do that. That's just like one of the differences. But yeah, also like the price points being up to $100 to $130 million in New
that's
York,
a whole
like
different animal.
it
yeah.
can't compare it. The highest sale ever in Hoboken was like 6.8 million. So it's like you can't compare the two that way.
For sure.
But
New York City real estate is just like insane. Like my
It is.
girlfriend was getting an apartment last year, and I'm just like, why don't you look for something like next month? She's like, nah, I got to look in like 3 weeks,
yeah,
like a week before I'm gonna move in. I'm like, what are you talking about? She's like, it won't be available unless I look at something like as soon as it pops up, and I immediately am ready to sign a lease within like 72 hours.
Mhm.
And I'm like, that's ridiculous. Like I
Yeah.
was looking for places for a couple months before like I came across this, and then I was just like, I almost dragged out the process too. I probably like was going on like a trip to Europe for 3 months or like for 2 months. So I was like, all right, like I'll come back in 2 months and then we'll talk.
it'll be there.
and like it's still here. I mean, and it's a brand new building, beautiful in Bergen County, New Jersey, but New York's different world.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It is. It's also different with like new builds like that. It takes longer to lease up a building like this than it does to just like rent one condo and like in like a walk up in Hoboken. Like the average unit in Hoboken rented out in 11 days this past year, which is
Wow.
insane. Like that's on average. That includes the ones that are way overpriced and sit for 130 days, right?
You might get a kick out of this. So like I've posted like apartments on like Facebook Marketplace before.
Yeah, I
like a
believe
1
that.
bedroom for like $1,500. And literally I put it up at like 8 p.m. at night. You'll wake up the next morning and you have 100 people
Yep.
messaging you. Literally be like, I want it right now. I have the money ready to deposit everything. And I'm just like, what the?
Yeah.
I don't know why that is. But
It's insane.
there's just so many people here that want apartments.
Mhm. It's very true.
Yeah, you probably seen that like crazy.
Yeah,
you know?
well, we do rentals too, like for landlords. So when you post it, it comes in like crazy through Zillow, apartments.com, Hotpads, realtor.com, like any of those sites. We pretty much put it on the MLS, any listing, and it gets sent out to all those sites. And then all those leads are like propagated towards our email.
Interesting.
So we
Gotcha.
get everything. Yeah.
Damn.
Yeah, it's easy.
Sorry, I'm hijacking this, but
Definitely a competitive market.
This is your space.
this is your friend.
I'm learning. I'm learning.
No, man. And you said you're just trying to save some money to buy a house too.
Yeah.
So how's that process? Like, what do you want to buy? Like, how are you thinking about that whole process?
So I'm looking at like a 2 to 4 family. I would like to do an FHA 203K loan just so I can.
What's that?
So 203K is like a renovation loan.
Okay.
And you guys heard of FHA before?
Yeah.
So that's like the 3.5%, right? So you can still do the 3.5% and then roll the loan on top of it. So like, let's say I buy something for $400, I'm only putting down $14,000, and then I can roll in the renovations of, let's say, like $100,000 into the property. So like, I'm in for it for 500, but with the work that I did throughout the process, it increases the value of the home. Mm-hmm. So when you get to that point, you're only in for 5, and it's all loaned out to you. Like, you're not extended at all. You're only extended the $14,000. But then the property value goes up to $650, cash out refi, and then you take the difference between the 5 and the $650.
So I have a question for you. So like, I've heard all these things where like they try to do. Does anyone do this in practice? Like,
That's real.
Like, people talk about it, like on YouTube, you see clips and shit, but like is it
Burr.
real? Like, can people do this crap?
Burr is the way to go. That's
Yeah.
exactly what it is, dude.
Yeah.
I like to just summarize it.
Well, can people do this in like this area?
Yeah.
That's people doing it in
this
this
is
area.
how people get rich in real estate. That's why you don't buy a condo that's like in a nice building like this. I mean, sure, you can do it, but people don't realize they're actually like net negative a lot of the time after interest, taxes,
HOA,
insurance,
all this,
HOA. Oh my gosh. People don't realize, like, yeah, your property might have gone up $200,000 in the last 4 years, but like, what did you spend on it
Yeah,
that you're
sure.
never getting back? So people make money in real estate by buying the pieces of shit and then improving them.
Exactly.
Yeah. And that's the real stuff. Like, all my mentors have told me that without trying to sell me a course or
No,
any
for sure.
shit. So
The refinancing is like the coolest part of it. It's like you put 15 down, it's worth 500. You put 50 into it, it goes up 100, and now you refinance it at 600, and you literally just get to pull that back, pay off the initial investment.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And I hate how like schemy it sounds, because it's like
you're just moving money pretty much.
You're creating value out of thin air pretty much. Like, that's why you make the money on the buy. Like, you don't have a gap between 500 and 650 if you buy it at 550, but you bought it at 4. That's why you have the gap. So like, you have to negotiate well up front if you're going to do that.
Yeah.
Now, my next question: how do you find like financing for all this stuff? Like, who the hell is giving out FHA loans and stuff like
anybody. Any lender,
that?
Yeah. I use United Mortgage.
Does it have to be your first property you buy, like, to do FHA?
So
I think so, right?
doesn't. You can only hold one FHA loan at a time, but you can get multiple throughout your life. Like, let's say you buy a condo FHA, live there for a year, then you want to rent it out. You can like refinance it to a conventional loan and then move into a new one FHA. So when you buy a property with an FHA loan, you have to live there for at least 12 months. People get away with some sneaky little stuff there, just keeping it as like your mailing address.
Right.
But it's crazy. There's like agents that walk around.
Oh, really?
That like literally go to FHA properties and like make sure people live there. So I wouldn't do that, but I've heard plenty of stories about people who have.
Is it not considered a first-time homebuyer's loan?
No, that's not actually what it stands for. I forget what it stands for, but it doesn't stand for.
It should stand for the very first home buyer. Yeah. And then what was it? You said FHA, and then what was the other K? You said something with a K.
201K.
203K.
203K. Oh, I'm gonna look this
Sounds like
up.
401K.
We'll do some deals together. We'll do some deals.
Yeah, what does FHA actually stand for?
I don't know. I forget. I'm looking it up. The Federal Housing Administration.
Oh, okay. That's all it is. It's just like that's about it.
Yeah, very simple. Yeah, it's a Federal Housing Administration
loan.
loan.
Was a lie, Kyle.
I wasn't taught fucking
I'm
dick.
joking,
They don't talk about this in school. You think they would?
You gotta watch the New Money Talks podcast.
Dude, this is how the banks make all the money.
Yeah.
Real estate.
So this is, the internet says an FHA loan is a type of mortgage geared toward borrowers with lower credit scores or who otherwise don't qualify for a conventional
lower
loan.
credit scores. I would think the opposite. If they're trusting you with such a low down payment, you need to fucking be able to pay that shit back.
So
they own the house.
Well,
that's true.
Where they get you is you're paying PMI, private mortgage insurance. If you owe more than 80% on a property, as if your equity is less than 20%, then you pay PMI. So that's how
it's pretty much an insurance policy on the loan that if you don't pay back, the insurance is going to pay back.
This whole country is just designed to like fuck people that are financially illiterate.
Yeah, right. We should just be socialist. Don't tag me.
Oh man. So you're hustling. It's like, do you have any other friends that are like in this like area that are hustling like you on this, or is like everyone's just older than you and like old white guys pretty much?
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah.
I mean, there's a lot of people in the industry who I'm friends with. I'm definitely not the youngest one. There's probably like 2 guys in this market who are younger than me that are doing better than I am. And that's good. Like, I'm happy to see that. I wish I was like 22 years old also doing the business that I'm doing now. Like, my life would be a lot better now. But I just try to be grateful for like the moments that I have had and like the sales that I have had, the clients who've decided to work with me over the other 7,000 agents in Hudson County. Yeah, like people have so many options. You have to be grateful for the fact that someone's going to choose you over everybody else in the area.
Does being part of this company that you are part of help you get deals or not really?
No, I don't get any leads from them.
Really?
Yeah,
Okay.
I don't get any leads.
So why'd you even choose to work with this company then?
That was part of what the guy told me up front.
What do you mean?
Remember the guy coaching in this company?
Yeah.
He said, go to this brokerage and then go to that coaching program.
Was there a reason to go to this brokerage?
He started here. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
He started here 22 years ago now at this point, or 23 years ago.
Because there's like tons of brokerages.
Yeah,
like,
there's so many.
Yeah,
like there's all these cloud-based brokerages like EXP. You probably heard of them before.
Yeah.
They're pretty big now. I think they have like 65 or 67,000 agents, something like that.
But they're all just like big tech companies that pretty much like made like
exactly
brokerages in the area. Yeah.
Like there's good ones out there. There's benefits to everyone. Like,
well, now you can even sell your house with like Open Door or whatever.
Exactly.
Yeah, you can go on opendoor.com and get an offer in like an hour.
Click on Zillow. It says, want a cash offer on your home? Here's the Zestimate. Fill out this form. It'll take you 3 minutes and we'll send you a cash offer.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I've never gone through the process and I've never talked to anybody who has, but I'm like, they cannot be paying market value. There's literally no way they're paying market value. Because if they were, they'd be out. Like they'd be timing
Well, Open
the
Door
market.
had a big problem. Like they almost were out. Yeah,
I know.
They almost were out.
I know.
Yeah.
And now like we're running into also BlackRock buying a bunch of single family real estate.
It's like the meme now. Yeah.
It's insane, but it's so fucking true. They what do they own? Like 10 or 12 billion dollars in real estate.
They're like fighting against like old ladies for deals right now.
Single families.
BlackRock. Yeah.
They're buying neighborhoods pretty much. Like if you have a block, you pretty much monopolize the block.
Yeah.
And like I had
that's kind of smart on their part.
Oh yeah, and you just fucking ramp up the price.
Capitalism allows it. Like it's unfortunate, but it's the system. We can't do anything about it. It's just whether you feel like ethically right about it.
I have a question. So like when people said BlackRock starts buying all these properties, do they literally have like someone who's an employee at BlackRock just walking around door to door doing like,
it's not door knocking. There's no way. It can't be like
not even door knocking, just like agents be like, we want this property.
Who?
Like pretty much they're calling the agents, be like, we want this property, like I'll pay anything, done. This type of thing. They're probably just doing that, right? They don't give a crap about the price. Yeah.
Yeah, because like once you own all the real estate in that neighborhood,
you're just gonna up it. Yeah,
it's in your control, right? Like that's what monopoly is.
Yeah,
you charge whatever you want. Like if you own everything,
buy BlackRock stock then. Yeah.
Can you?
It's on the stock.
They run the world.
Yeah,
I didn't know that.
BlackRock and Blackstone. So whatever, you hear the sirens.
Yeah, it's probably gonna.
So Blackstone used to be part of BlackRock. Like I was like, there's like the founding story. Like I think the founders got into like a fight and they just like split it out or something like that. But Blackstone, the stock ticker is BX. This is not any financial advice. But I saw this shit like 3 years ago. It was like $25. Now it's like 150 or some crap like that.
Man.
It's like a private equity fund. So it's like you have like KKR, Blackstone, all these guys that doing private equity. And I guess you have BlackRock buying out all of America.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
I guess they're getting out of private equity and businesses, and they're getting into real estate.
Yeah, makes sense.
Who knows?
What do you think about like? I know there's like a big issue. I guess you don't do much in New York, but like big issue with like office properties in New York, like office buildings, stuff like that.
Yeah.
Have you done any work with that type of stuff?
Office space is so cheap right now. I have a friend who works for Cushman and Wakefield in New York City. And it's crazy. Like there are CEOs of commercial real estate brokerages in New York City just getting laid off like left and right. This kid had a team of 6 people. It's down to 2, and they just replaced the other 4 with 4 new people. And they're pretty much like revamping their entire pipeline. He's been with them for like 7 years.
Wow.
Insane. And office is so cheap right now. I don't know what it's like per square foot at the moment, but where you're really making a lot of value is since the residential market there is really high right now. Where the real value add is if you're taking an office building and you convert it, either to a mixed use where there's still office and like a Whole Foods or something on the bottom, which like most of New York is anyways, because you can't have like first floor residential units, but then you add units on top.
Yeah.
I don't know if
This is
that's
fucking
I think-
crazy.
yeah.
What?
I don't know if that's gonna be in it.
The side, no, it'll filter it out, but
Yeah.
it's just annoying. For those who are watching, there's a fucking fire hydrant.
Fire,
There's a fire truck.
Fire truck.
Dude, like
there's
6.
loose fire hydrant.
So I was even watching this morning on CNBC. Supposedly I think it's called like the Bank of New York or some shit like that. Like it's got to infuse like $1 billion into it. Like I think they're the 20th largest bank in the country, some shit
Damn.
like that. And they were showing their portfolio of like investments, like pretty much like loans that they give out.
Mhm.
And one of them was a bunch of office buildings.
Yeah.
And people try to convert them into apartments and everything. But the hardest thing to do in New York is construction. So like imagine you're in New York City and you're trying to bring like flatbeds of like lumber and
Yep.
all this crap on the street where you can't find parking for your bicycle.
Yeah.
You get a
Literally.
ticket for your bicycle.
Yeah.
How are you gonna bring like forklifts and trucks and everything, right?
Yeah, it's
It's like in theory that's what people are doing, but it's a lot harder like said than done. You know what I mean?
It's kind of funny thinking about that. Like it's almost like a movie shoot where like you have to rent out a block or 2 blocks.
Literally.
Fucks
like,
the whole city.
You seen the construction going on around like MSG recently, the last
seen
like
that.
2
Yeah,
years?
yeah.
Oh my god, they just block everything off and you can't get anywhere.
Can't get anywhere.
Like it makes traffic worse, and then also the business is incentivized to just move it as fast as they can because you're probably spending money to the town every single hour, if not like every day, to rent out that space. So it's like you want to get that wood up as fast as you can, get that concrete poured as fast as you can, because you want to get the fuck out of the street and save your money.
What one play I've thought of myself and I've seen some people do, so like not like in the city, but like more in like kind of areas like Bergen County, Hudson County, is buying office buildings and turning them into like storage facilities.
Interesting.
So like taking offices and like literally making like 8x10 storage units and just like literally renting it as like storage facilities.
That shit rents, man.
That shit rents like crazy. Like
Especially-
Hoboken is
Yep.
like probably insane to
There's
rent
only a
storage
few.
facility.
There's only a
Literally.
handful of them. There's one right next to my building, and I don't even think they're ever going to demolish it. If they do, they'll just build on top of it because there's just none. Like there's no storage around there.
Yeah.
And people, that's a big problem in a lot of apartments anyways. Like I show a lot of apartments. I think you saw Irby, right?
Yeah.
The black
Yeah.
building that's like, so people talk about, like, yeah, it's a great building in a perfect location. Like you're right near the light rail, the path, Domo. You got all this good stuff
The
going
hell's
on.
Domo?
Sushi.
Oh.
Like you're supposed to know what that is. Like you got all this shit around you, but then you don't have no closet space.
Yeah.
Like what are you gonna do about your wife?
Why is there no closets?
They're tiny.
What are you gonna do about your wife? Wait, why the fuck's there no closets?
There's closets, but they're tiny.
I
Like
see.
it's like they're 3 feet long, and like
There's no walk-ins or anything.
yeah, they have some, but then like you're spending an extra $500 a month for a
Yeah.
walk-in
For
closet.
a walk-in
you know?
closet, that's nuts.
So yeah, that's
This
why.
is New Jersey City.
Yeah,
Jeez.
yeah, it is. It is.
Gosh.
And there's a lot of buildings that are like that too. Honestly, most of them are fine, but there's a handful that have been like there have been like specifically closet space complaints about it, and I think it prevents them from being rented, honestly, and it lowers the price because you have to like offer out incentives if your places aren't renting. Also, just like side note about these buildings, if you're ever wondering, 95% occupancy is like what they aim for. So 100 units, any more than 5 vacant, like you're doing poorly. So that's how they look at
You're
it.
doing poorly.
Yeah, like you have to have at
But
least
these
like
things are never 95% occupied.
a lot of them
right?
are, man. Dude,
Really?
you'd be surprised. Hudson House right now, they only have like 7 available out of like 360,
Oh,
which
shit.
is like that's pretty good. Like that's like 98%, I think, if I did that right.
yeah.
Someone will check me.
yeah.
Yeah, something like that.
I'm
But yeah.
surprised. Like, I guess like even like this building, I guess is pretty full. You know,
Probably like 90.
Yeah.
but like someone like the place like the Modern, for example, like, is that place full?
Dude, huge. Oh
It's
my
massive
God.
though, right?
I don't know. I have no
Yeah,
idea.
yeah.
I wonder.
Yeah.
Yo,
Hundreds and
what-
hundreds of
I'm curious. Do you guys have any tips for me about growing my TikTok and Instagram?
curious.
I don't know.
You need
You've
some
been,
like
you've been
crazy
doing a
shit
good
on
job.
there. Yeah.
Just
How
like
big
now.
is it?
But it's like 3,700 followers right now.
3,700.
I took a break pretty much from like October to January or February, but I just got back into it. I'm
Well,
having
my
fun.
question: what are you trying to like gain from it?
Trying to gain clients, possibly monetize it in the future. I don't know what I'd have to get to do
I feel like
that.
the only hard part with that is like your clients can only be based in like this area.
Mhm.
And, like TikTok's like the whole.
You know what's interesting though? Like
Country.
we just talked to Luca where he pumps like
That's
TikTok
true.
videos, and he filled up like a concert locally
Really?
in New York
Yeah.
City from TikTok. And I was like, that's
He sold
pretty
1,000
wild.
tickets for like a
Damn.
concert.
Like,
Yeah,
what does he
local
do?
from TikTok.
He does e-commerce, but like his
A little side thing.
side quest was like concerts in this like Brooklyn Mirage concert stuff like
Cool.
that, but like
Yeah,
a smaller
yeah.
version.
That's pretty cool.
Honestly, maybe you could talk to him because like
But,
he might know his stuff.
Yeah, I mean
and
we're
stuff,
not
like-
TikTok experts, but I would just say like volume and variety. Like
Mhm.
find a content style that's resonating well, and then just like pump a ton of different videos so that you could test that different variety of content.
Totally.
Things will stick. And
Our
compound.
most viral videos are just like the stupidest ones.
Yeah.
Like James Jing, for example.
For you though, I think the
Yeah,
good
I
ones
saw
are
that.
like
Yeah.
the
The credit card guy.
yeah,
Like you do the cold calling, right? Like where you'll do a cold
Yeah.
calling, like you'll like someone will just be like, "Who the fuck is this?" Blah,
Yeah.
blah, blah. Like those are great.
I
'cause
could do those.
Like those will go. I feel like those would pop up if you
Yeah.
get the right one.
Honestly,
Like,
the door knocking could be cool too.
Yeah, that as well.
Dude, I was talking to my roommate about it, and it's so funny. Like, imagine I just set up a tripod with a phone facing at someone's house, and I'm knocking on your door.
Is that just,
Imagine
like,
answering that
legal?
door.
Yeah, who
You'd be
knows?
like, "What the fuck? Like, this is terrifying. Why are you recording me? Like, this is my house."
I'm sure
Like, that's why I
you'd
can't.
probably have to like ask them for like permission. Like, oh, by the way, like I'm recording this.
This reminds. We talked about this in the last podcast. There's this guy in Canada who does window washing. I don't know if you've ever seen
Yeah.
him
Cool.
before.
Yeah.
His
No, I
name's
don't
Josh
know.
Lester, whatever.
Cool.
And all his viral videos are of him knocking on someone's door, and someone's
Yeah.
like, I guess behind him recording it. And like you hear the voice pretty much. Like those videos go crazy. So
That's
maybe
cool.
look him up. or
Yeah, I think
something.
the
Yeah.
guy who's recording it too, they try to like get like out of frame so it's not like obvious he's
Mhm.
recording, and also they either like blur the owner's face and they make sure like there's no like house number. I think if you do all that stuff, you just have to be careful
Yeah.
to not like disclose their location and
Yeah.
stuff.
So like, be compliant about it. But that is good content. Like, I don't
Yeah.
want to make myself look like a fool, but it's like, it's real stuff. Like, as long as I'm reacting professionally and I'm not being like, "Oh, fuck you too."
Yeah, no. Dude, like 30-day fucking door knocking challenge. Day one of a
Yeah.
30-day in a row like
Dude,
door
that's
knocking
good
challenge.
for me too, right? Like, I'm
Yeah.
gonna generate business when that
Yeah,
happens.
it'll force you to do the videos. And
Yeah,
knocking
facts,
on
right?
doors,
Yeah, if anything,
people-
it's accountability.
Yeah,
literally
like that's
3rd-day door knocking, 3rd-day phone calls. Like,
yeah. Like,
Yeah.
I get enough views for it to be like, "Where's the next video?" Like, it's not
Okay.
like it's a lot, but I'm averaging probably like 6,000 or 7,000. It's like enough people
Yeah.
to be like, "What's happening?"
well,
My
I think
friends
that's
see
why
it
we
too.
keep doing this too, because like
Yeah,
we get like enough random people hitting us up, being like, "Oh, I actually watched this," and I'm like,
Dude,
"Oh,
even some
shit, we
people
gotta
in
do another
person,
one."
they're like, "Yo, keep doing it. Like,
Really?
it inspires me." I've
Yeah.
been like,
even though there's
educated
videos
by
with
it.
like 100 views on here.
Yep.
We also
Yeah.
have videos with like 20,000 views. So
Exactly.
like, I
Yeah,
guess
yeah,
it's
it's everyone in between.
everything in between. So
yeah, it's cool.
yeah.
No, I'm happy for you guys because I think last time it was like 6,000 followers or so. And that- on TikTok.
On TikTok.
Oh,
On TikTok.
yeah, yeah,
I
no.
don't
And
know
you
what's
grew
at
to
now.
YouTube too. Also,
Yeah, YouTube's at like 3,000. right
Yeah.
now.
I think
Yeah.
we were only at like 300.
Like, we were probably 300.
less.
Yeah,
Now we're
yeah,
over
yeah.
You hit
3,000.
100 when like right after we talked.
Oh,
Yeah.
really?
Yeah,
Oh,
because
yeah.
you were like celebrating the milestone.
I
Oh,
remember
shit. It was
that.
insane.
That's crazy.
It was insane.
So in a year we got 2,900. That's pretty
Yeah.
good.
It's not bad.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Damn, like imagine what you can do. And then TikTok is 69,000, right?
Yep.
Is it really 69?
It's still
stuck
there,
It's
yeah.
stuck there.
Can't
Oh,
get-
has it been?
And our
It's been
Instagram's
stuck
been
there for,
stuck at
like,
like 7,000.
months.
Ah,
Everything,
shit,
yeah.
really?
Yeah.
Damn, that's so weird.
Yeah, I don't know why, but like just like it goes up and down, It's like at that point.
Just gotta look at it like the fucking S&P. Like just like keep, just like have faith for 2 years and then
Yeah.
look at it and trust that it's gonna be higher than it
Just
was
keep-
before.
yeah.
If you were like 22 coming out of college again, would you go this route of being a realtor? Like, tell me the honest answer right
That's
now.
such a good question.
It's hard
Oh,
shit.
Would I?
Like, you can give the PC version, and you can give the real version if you'd like. We're keeping both of them. I want to
No.
give both.
I don't think I would have done it yet. I think what I would have done is traveled for 6 months to a year, created different types of content on TikTok, whether it's cooking, travel, street interviews. Like those are things that I'm like passionate about that, or like I was talking to Kyle earlier, like do like mental health TikToks or YouTube
For sure.
videos. Cause those are things that are like that, like those are at my core. Like I love to cook. I love to exercise, travel.
That would go more viral than the real estate stuff.
Exactly. I know I could. Like there's this guy named Sprout. His actual name is William. He's like a dude out of Canada.
Right.
I'll send you his page. It's like, it's really cool stuff. He goes up to people and now his niche is kind of like interviewing older people and asking them like, what's your advice to someone? What does it feel like to be 83 years old? Things like that. And it's like real conversations. And I'm like, those are the conversations that make me the happiest in my life. Like, why would I not record it? So I think I probably would have gone back and tried to live an international life and just see if I could make something work. And if not, I'm 23 and then I come back and start a real estate business, right?
Yeah.
Literally, yeah.
So I think that's probably what I would have done.
So you wouldn't have done this again?
I don't think so. Because I still have that craving to like go away. And like you saw, I went to Bali last year for 2 weeks
Yeah.
and just
Oh,
like,
you did? Oh,
yeah, by
shoot.
myself, just for fun. Because
I do remember that. Yeah.
yeah, it was awesome. Like it was such a good time.
So you just went by yourself, like
Yeah.
no strings attached. You just like
No.
Airbnb.
No plans. I had
airplane,
one
that's it.
Airbnb the first night. That was it.
First night.
Yeah, and then I figured everything out the day off.
What'd you do the next night?
Airbnb.
The same one or a different one?
No, I switched up. I think I went to like 7 different locations. So I stayed on average about 2 days each.
And how
Damn.
you traveling around? Just like moped or whatever?
Moped, taxi. There's a thing called Gojek. I almost got stuck in the north of Bali, actually.
How?
Oh man. So it was about a 3-hour drive away from the airport. And it's literally through the jungle, through like,
Yeah.
oh my God, you're going up and down mountains like that. It's crazy. We hit rainstorms
And
at the
you
top.
had no one with you. You're all just by yourself.
Yeah. I mean, there's a guy driving me at this point, but I took a Gojek up there. Or no, I took like their version of Uber up there. So it was probably like $15 for like a 3-hour ride. Like
Damn.
Bali is so
Jeez.
insanely cheap. I feel bad like agreeing to their economy because it's like making even 40 grand here. You're wealthy there. You're
Yeah.
literally wealthy. You can stay wherever you want. So yeah, I take this like 3-hour ride up there. I had an Airbnb planned. It was fine. It's a nice little resort. It was probably like 30 units or so on the side of a cliff, like in a valley in a jungle. So, oh my God, these pictures are so amazing. I could see them in my head already.
Yeah.
It was me and like one other guy in the whole resort. It was really cool. So I'm up there, I have a great time. And this was like my relaxed day. I think it was like day 10 or 11. So I was almost done. And I was like, all right, I just need to chill. Like, I don't need to be going on rides through the city, smelling in the smoke, doing all this stuff. It's like, let me just chill. So I hang out there. Next day I get up and I'm trying to call a ride. It's like literally 30, 45 minutes. I'm trying to eat breakfast. Nothing's happening because I'm remote. I'm like, it's called
Yeah.
Lavina. I'm like way up north. No one's there. I didn't even think because I never had a problem getting a
Oh,
ride
you
down
never
south.
thought no car's gonna come here.
No
yeah.
one's answering my ride. Like, you know, when you're stuck in the middle of the night in Uber and like you're
Yeah,
trying to get
yeah.
a ride, you can't. So I'm like, oh my God, what the hell am I going to do?
And there's no like concierge or anything. at
So
the
there
place?
are. There's people there. Like there was probably like 3 people running that and then a resort right next door. I say resort. It's like little bungalows on like
Yeah.
the edge of a cliff. And it's managed by 1 or 2 people. So I talked to the guy there. I'm like, what the hell do I do? Like, how do I get home? He goes, I don't have a car. I go, yeah, no shit. Like, I'm not asking you to
He said
take
he
me.
doesn't have a car.
Yeah, he was like, I don't have a car. He's like, I don't know what to do. So I was like, can you call anybody? Like, do you know anyone who lives nearby? I'll pay them for the ride. I'll pay them double for the ride. I need to get home. My flight's in 3 days. Like, I can't be stuck here. So he calls a few buddies and he finally gets a hold of somebody who was actually heading down that way in a day. So I stayed an extra day. It's like not a big deal.
In a day, it's like a
Yeah,
movie.
a day,
It's like,
literally.
wait a day.
I had to just sit there for another day. And I'm like, luckily I have cell service. I can like watch videos and like chill out, you know?
But you're low key stressed.
Oh my God, yeah,
Yeah.
I was. That was the first time I was nervous there. I never felt in danger, by the way, which is a really cool thing about it. So he picks me up, he drives me all the way back, and I don't have any cash because I had run out at this point. So I was like, all right, no big deal. Like, I'll go to some gas station. There's gas stations, convenience stores, ATMs all over the place. It's very like Americanized and Europeanized over there, so it's easy to get access to money. So I was like, no problem. I'll go to a convenience store, get some money out of the ATM when I get there. I get there. I don't have my debit card. And I'm like,
Where's your debit card?
I don't know. I have no idea. So I lost it. Like ultimately, I didn't have it at all. I didn't even misplace it. So I couldn't get money out and I had no cash and I can't Zelle or Uber or Venmo.
or nothing.
I can't send the guy money. He barely speaks English. And I'm like trying to literally translate stuff in Lhasa because that's their language on Google Translate and it's not working. I'm trying to tell the guy that I'll like send him money to the Airbnb host and send it back. And it was crazy. So ultimately, like, I feel so guilty about this. Like, I never paid the guy,
No.
but I have no
You
way
just
to.
dipped.
Oh my
You
God.
just
dipped.
I have no way
He's going that
to.
way anyways.
I know. Yeah, but yeah, crazy. That was one of the more like wild things that happened. I just
Oh,
felt so
shit.
bad.
Bali's sick. I went there
Yeah.
5 years ago. Haven't been back since, but like
Cool.
I want to.
You
Just like
should.
no one wants to go with me.
What do you do?
Let's go.
What do you do all day? What
Down.
do you do all day over there? Just,
Oh
like,
my
beach
God.
and food.
So cool. I slid down a waterfall. I did cliff jumping. I did ATV rides. I did whitewater
Did you
rafting.
meet people there?
Oh yeah, I met
Yeah.
probably like 50 or 60 people.
Wow.
Yeah, it was cool.
Did you go to
I went
Monkey
clubbing a lot.
Forest? Oh yeah, the clubs are
Yeah,
crazy.
clubs are crazy.
The name of the drinks are wild.
Just like PC doesn't exist there. Like politically correct is just not a thing.
Yeah. Did you go to the monkey jungle, monkey forest?
Oh yeah, yeah.
There's
I
like
did.
elephants. Like
I did.
it's
You saw an elephant?
fun.
Not an elephant, monkey, but my friend actually. It was raining. There's like this path through the monkey forest. Do you remember?
Yeah.
And she fell like where it gets really narrow. It was raining and she fell and like she
muddy?
didn't get that hurt, but she broke the bike and she couldn't get home. And
Jeez.
I felt bad because it was literally within the first 2 minutes of me seeing her, and it was the only day I was going to see her there. She lives there, and I like she had to literally just go home after that. And I'm like,
Dang.
this sucks. Like, can't even hang out. But she was fine. Monkeys were cool though. They take shit from you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They were like eating my girlfriend's hair, like trying to like grab her bag. It was wild. They're trained to do that because then they'll just sell it off to the, or they'll get food in exchange for
Oh
it.
shoot!
Sell
They're
it.
Smart
They just sell
motherfuckers.
it,
Yeah,
They are.
That's where your debit card went.
Dude, I have no clue.
Debit card.
I probably left it on a counter and then a monkey took it.
Oh my god!
But yeah, they'll take your phone too. Like if you're texting or calling, like they'll take your phone.
Well, if you want to make money, be a real estate agent, you can go to Bali. Like
sell new construction in Bali.
Yeah, sell new construction
for like $100,000.
FHA loans in Bali. Oh,
so you were talking about the like what you would have done differently if you were to rewind 2 years, 2.5 years, and like with in terms of what content you'd make. Like why don't you do both? Why don't you make the content you want to make, even if you're not able to travel? Like you can still talk about the things that you're passionate about, that you enjoy, or like go out and do the street interviews, but like maybe, I don't know, reserve that for like the weekends or something and do your own thing on the weekdays. Like, I guess why not do both? Do you think you'd be like spread thin, or like, do you think you wouldn't be able to go in like wholeheartedly? I
think it's fear, actually, not going to lie. Yeah. I think it's fear that holds me back from it. Cause I'm like, I would love to do the street interviews. Like I think that would be so much fun. And
fear of what though?
Like fear of rejection, honestly.
By who?
By the people that I'm talking to. Isn't that silly?
Yeah.
I know. Like coming from such a confident guy, I'm like, why am I so?
You go door knocking every day. Like, what's is a 7-year-old gonna like curse you out for like asking them what the meaning of life is?
I don't know what the hell it is. I don't know what it is. Dude, we should take New Money Talks to the street. I'm telling you.
To the streets.
You should take that shit to the streets. Yeah, you should. You should. I'll do them for you.
Like,
no, that'll get me out of my shell.
There you go.
Hermosi says one thing. Like he doesn't like mentioning on some podcasts, but he has in earlier ones. You know who Dean Graziosi is?
Yeah.
So he talked to Dean Graziosi, and he was like getting all these letters in the mail, like death threats, people coming to his house, knocking on his door, all this stuff. And he was just like, how do you deal with all of it? And he's like, if helping millions of people and like spreading this message and doing what I'm passionate about means having a couple crazy people like threaten my life or do whatever or bother me, give me slight inconveniences, then like I'll pay that price every single day.
Yeah, man.
And so it's like, it's the same situation with you. It's like, if you enjoy it and the content you're putting out is impacting tens of thousands of people, and you have to like, you know, like get a couple shoulder nudges from like some random people who cares about them. You're not going to know them. They're not going to know you in a day's time.
You're right.
Like, fuck it. Do it.
Yeah. I appreciate that. Like think about the guys that I watch if they had never started too.
Yeah.
Like, then I would be getting the value. That's a good thought. I appreciate that.
Dude, there's probably a dozen people that watched our last podcast a year ago that like decided to go into real estate, and like whether they're doing amazing or not, they learned lessons that are going to compound within their life, you know?
So true.
Yeah.
Like I think having the belief that when you start something that it can work too is really important.
Yeah.
Like, were you guys hesitant about this at all? Was there ever like a point where you're like, I don't really want to do this?
The thing with this, it wasn't like let's do this. It was more just like fuck it. Let's just.
It wasn't thought out. It was a build. Let's go. It was let's build it.
At this point, it's just like
now we're in deep.
It's just like we're just walking forward right now. Like okay, like we're walking through the monkey forest. You know, like okay.
Just hope we got
one foot in front of the other.
Yeah. We don't know where we're going with it, but it's going somewhere.
It's it's like being in a relationship that's like, you know, not so bad.
It ain't gonna kill me.
His girl's better watch us. Like, what the fuck are you saying?
I'm not talking about my relationship. I'm saying it's like being in a relationship that's like, you know, not so bad.
Yeah.
You know, it's like
you get complacent.
Yeah.
Sometimes.
You know, I said this not the other day. We went like probably 2 or 3 months ago. I got a gift card for Olive Garden. So I go with my girlfriend and like one of her friends. And like the whole time we were just saying, you know, this is not bad. Like it's not great, but it's not bad. It's Olive Garden.
Free breadsticks, man, all day.
It's honestly solid. It's my first time going.
Yeah, you take what you can get.
I gotta try it out. Is it good? It's not bad.
No, it's cheap too. It's like $15 for like unlimited breadsticks, soup, salad.
Really?
$15 a person.
Because
most people actually get entrees. New Money Talks, man.
Oh, New Money Talks.
Text Saray, you trying to go to Olive Garden? Question mark.
How much time you got left? I know you gotta go. What time is it?
Probably right now. You want to wrap up?
Yeah, we'll wrap it up.
Yeah.
Sounds like a
plan. I know we didn't even get to touch on it, but I know it's a big part of you, like the whole like mental health stuff.
Yeah.
Like give some words of wisdom for, you know, we don't have to get crazy, but like give some words of wisdom for people that, you know, they're not like they're not, you know, they're not like crazy depressed, whatever, but they're just like, they're not where they want to be. They don't feel fulfilled. They're just like, they're a little down. Like what's something that's helped you get through tough times that they can take away and emulate?
So I think one of the first things that I think about is don't neglect the feelings that are coming through your head, because everything serves a purpose. Sometimes things are just your monkey mind talking to you, and it's not actually the truth of the matter, but you do have to address it, because if you bury things down in your mind, like, they'll just continue to grow over time. If you feel like you need an outlet, and you don't trust any of your friends or family, or you feel like you can't be fully vulnerable with them, go on like Talkspace, or there's like other apps like that are just virtual telehealth, like mental health therapists.
Yeah.
And it's just helpful to get your thoughts out of your own mind. Also, if you don't have a workout routine, try to get into the gym. And if you don't want to work out, just go for walks. You have to get your body moving. Like Tony Robbins says, if you change your physiological state, your mental health state is going to change. So I think they go hand in hand. So get things out of your mind. Surround yourself with people who you want to be like, whether you feel like an imposter or not with them. Just be there. Just like get in the room. Like they always say, you want to be at the table, start by serving water. And I think it's a good place to be, just around people who are positive, upbeat. Typically, I find people who are entrepreneurial or are in like the fitness industry are more energized just because of the activities they're taking on a day-to-day basis. So yeah, I think I would say that. And also do things that you really enjoy doing, because life is extremely short and you never know when anything can be taken away from you, whether it's yourself or other people. So just try to not waste time.
I think rather than traveling the world and doing this, you should become a pastor.
I'm Jewish.
Oh, shit. A rabbi. If you got to this point in the podcast, comment below, because that was that was hilarious.
First Jewish pastor.
That was hilarious.
I'm 50-50.
Anyway, where people find you and all this stuff.
Yeah. Instagram, Hoboken.realtor, TikTok, the Hoboken Realtor. Cell numbers 973-632-5600. That's my business number. So you can call me, text me anytime. I do rentals and sales and investments, commercial buildings and residential buildings as well in New Jersey, all over the northern half of the state.
More importantly, you gotta go to the camera and say, who do you know that needs their house sold or that needs to buy a house? Because if you ask, do you know someone, they're going to say no. If you ask who you know, then they're going to be like, oh, let me think about it.
Someone enlightened you. That's good stuff.
It's a big sales thing too.
Who do you know that wants to buy or sell a house in New Jersey?
There you go.
Perfect.
Tell them to come your way.
All
right, now before we wrap it up,
yeah,
we have wrapped it up, but we do have to give a quick shout out to one of our sponsors, MediaGlobe.io. So whether you're doing real estate advertising or you're doing e-commerce advertising or anything, if you want to have access to agency accounts with very low fees and that give you, Facebook reps that give you like unlimited access to their team of trained media buyers that have spent tens of millions of dollars in paid ad spend, all that fun stuff, especially if you're like a beginner that's looking to target different countries on TikTok, whatever, hit up MediaGlobe.io. They're beasts. They're awesome. We use them. They'll be linked down below.
Make sure you like, comment, subscribe, follow Poseidon's Workshop on Instagram. Thank you very much.
We'll see you in the next one.
It's about don't hate the sponsors, because that's how it keeps going. All right.